Brock Purdy's contract negotiation has kind of come into focus as of late with the reported leak of the initial offer by the San Francisco 49ers, which was reported at $45 million per year on average. That's what Kirk Cousins got paid coming off an Achilles rupture at the age of 36. So, James Jones and the rest of the facility crew talked about this and really kind of pushed on that this is borderline disrespectful, which is interesting because James Jones has kind of been a guy who's been pushing back on paying Brock Purdy. So take a listen to their argument right here as they kind of go back and forth. And I'm curious to think if you think that it was disrespectful, if that actually is the case. Take a listen right here.
I feel bad right now. And I think it is disrespectful. Because a lot of these times I've been sitting up here and I've been thinking about it from a organization perspective. This is disrespectful to the player. If I am Brock Purdy, and I have took you to the NFC Championship and a Super Bowl, and I've played at a really high level, and I really played the best football in the Super Bowl.
That is true.
And all your veterans and all these all-pro players you got, I played the best. If we win that game, I'm the MVP.
True.
And for you to come and say the first offer is $45 million, and Trevor Lawrence got 55, and Tua got 53, and Kyler got 46. That is disrespectful to the player. I'm putting myself in Brock Purdy's shoes. Even if I come in there and say, hey, man, I want 60. For you to counter me
45
and say $45 million, that is so disrespectful to the player. Like, if I was Brock Purdy agent, if we walk in the door and you don't start with 55, I'm not even responding.
Correct.
Because that is disrespectful.
Here's the problem.
As the player.
Here's
we
the problem.
know Brock Purdy might not mean $60 million to the 49ers. We know that. But Brock Purdy and his team don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And with what these quarterbacks has gotten, if we ain't starting with 55, anything other than that is disrespectful to the player.
Guess what? If you're not talking and your agent doesn't respond, you're going to get $97 million for the next 3 years. You could potentially get $135 million, 38 more at this. I'm not going to say it's going to end up. Who has the leverage here, guys?
Purdy.
Purdy.
No,
He's a starting quarterback.
I literally just told you in terms of money that he's going to make, at this offer, if he accepts it, he's going to make $38 million more.
But what I'm saying is if he don't show up on these tags, where the Niners going?
Exactly right.
You better have a plan. I'm just saying you better have a plan for the quarterback.
Yes, and I agree. But also, would you guys find it disrespectful for this to end up at a Trevor Lawrence level?
No.
How would you feel about that
fine.
for Brock Purdy?
I'm fine with that.
As a player, that's what he should be asking for.
And I just told you that's probably where it's going to end up.
Here's
But I'm
the
saying,
dilemma,
we're
Chase.
talking about the offer, Chase, not where it's going.
It's a business, dude.
And it's disrespectful.
Yeah, but, okay, so even if it's disrespectful, hold on, even if it's disrespectful, say you were offered, whatever it was, and you felt disrespectful, you wouldn't walk away from negotiations. It's part of the business.
It's not walk away. It's call us when you're serious. That's what, like, if I walk in there.
They don't have to. They can keep him under contract for the next 3 years. Kyle Shanahan can draft another Jimmy Garoppolo and do just as what he did to Brock Purdy.
Do what you got to do. I'm not showing up. Go ahead, Acho.
Right?
The dilemma
you
for
guys
me,
see it?
The dilemma for me, though, Chase, is simple. We haven't seen quarterback contracts leak like this so low on this list. Burrow's didn't leak. Remember, Burrow said, I'm not talking about it. He got paid an exorbitant amount of money. Jordan Love, he didn't get offered some below-level offer. He just got paid an exorbitant amount of money. Tua Tagovailoa, we know there was tension there, but Tua missed the season with the concussion. But you go there. Jared Goff, there was no, low offer. No, he just got paid a lot of money. Justin Herbert, he didn't have to beg, he just got paid an exorbitant amount of money. Lamar Jackson, he is the one.
Yes.
He is the one where Lamar
agent.
was like, I want, yeah, and
He's
again,
his own agent,
he's his own agent,
different.
mom's his agent, et cetera. Jalen Hurts had to beg for nothing. So Brock Purdy, even though he's taken them to a Super Bowl, Chase, I'm not disagreeing with you that this is the first offer. What I'm suggesting, and James, you've led me to a point, not only is it disrespectful, it's dumb. Because the Niners did the same thing with Brandon Ayuk. And how did that play out?
Yeah.
Remember, the Niners offered Ayuk a low amount of money, and Ayuk was like, wait, what? And then the Niners said, we're not talking about it anymore. And now Ayuk is like, I want to get traded. He's posting pictures with Jaden Daniels. He wants to go to the Commanders. He wants to go to the Steelers. So not only, James, to me now is it disrespectful, it's dumb. Chase, you might not be wrong in the fact that, like, yo, this is a first offer, but none of these other quarterbacks had to deal with that.
Are you reading between the tea leaves? Don't you think it's telling us what the San Francisco 49ers maybe think of Brock? We don't need you for 55. We don't need you for 60. We can go out. We can find someone else because guess what? We've done it before.
They have.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying there's always a rhyme to the reason on why these things get leaked.
From
You know what I mean? And Brock's like, man, I don't know if I could have the type of success. All I'm thinking about, like, I'd rather pay for Kyle Shanahan.
From an organization standpoint, it's smart by the Niners, but it's disrespectful too. That's all I'm saying.
It could be two things.
What I have accomplished and where I have taken you guys, right? This is a disrespectful offer when you talk about where Kyler Murray and Joe Burrow, and Jordan Love and Tua and Trevor Lawrence has taken. It's disrespectful.
I think they both do a good job of kind of articulating this situation and how it's ultimately going to play out. And, I let me try to collect my thoughts on this because I'm not surprised. Like, let's say that's to be true. I'm not surprised. The 49ers are ruthless negotiators. It's been the case that you heard Acho mention Brandon Ayuk's deal of them basically offering him a low number and then just shutting off negotiations and just walking away from the negotiation table. And while they walked away from the negotiation table, the wide receiver market absolutely exploded. So, the 49ers kind of have it's kind of out there in the open, and they have kind of a track record of this is how they do negotiations. I think so. Like, I'm less concerned about the number. Like, to me, what comes across as, if I'm going to be, honest, what comes across as disrespectful is that the leak, it being leaked, it being out there. I'm fully aware that information gets out certain ways, but I think of like the way Adam Schefter's talking about it. Adam Schefter's talking about it like he's in the room with the negotiation, and you can tell. Like, it's really easy to tell when guys are just kind of speculating, or if maybe there's kind of some truth to what they're actually speculating. And again, at the end of the day, it's still filed under speculation, opinion, and those kinds of things. But let's be honest, we've been covering the San Francisco 49ers long enough to understand what the playbook looks like. So to me, that's where the disrespect comes from, because even though they might be far apart, we've seen many times of them close that gap. It's just a very tenuous process to get to close that gap. What I deem as, from a player's perspective, what I think is the most egregious is the playing out in the media, because it pits the fan base against the player. And it's an interesting notion, considering the fact that, ultimately, from what we're told, regardless of who the player is, like, they want them there. They just want them at a certain price. So they're going to go through the negotiations. But when you put things out there in the media and you use the media to generate leverage and pressure, you're using your fan base and you're pitting them against the player. And I think that's the hard part, but not saying that happens all the time, and that's not necessarily the case here. I'm just saying, if that is the case, and if that really does happen, that's what I would view as like the difficult part about it, because it's already I think a challenging enough situation to have the negotiation. But if it were to play out in the media and have talk shows talking about it, guys like me throwing their 2 cents, that's the difficult part, I think. So we'll see if this could all be fabricated. This could all just be a number that's being thrown out there, or it could actually be real. And it could actually be the exact situation that's playing out, just like the Adam Schefter hypothetical situation. that could just be pure speculation, or it could actually be coming from a place of pretty solid information. So all we can do is speculate on it, but the speculation and the conversation, it just creates weird energy around the situation. And so I would hope that it just stays behind closed doors. Like, they kind of talked about that. They kind of talked about, like, we haven't heard anyone leak that it was this low with any of these other contract negotiations. So I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. But I think we're kind of seeing the smoke percolate around this situation. So we'll see where it ultimately lands. But I just hope for a positive outcome. That's all I'm hoping for. And I do hope that, it doesn't become some big media, debacle and charade, and it just keep those conversations inside, regardless of where they're at, because that's just how it goes. I'm less concerned about the offer. I'm more concerned about the fact that I prefer that we know nothing. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.